Hey there, Cancer. Welcome to your video. Happy birthday to all the Cancers that have birthdays in July, by the way. If you're watching this in July, obviously, if you're watching it in August, how long does Cancer run? I have no idea how long Cancer goes to. I think it goes till the 19th or the 20th or something like that. So happy birthday to those early or those late Cancers, by the way. This month, you have a very interesting month. It lines up, I think, with your past readings as well. It's very similar, a lot of similar messages. So let's dive right in. The first card you have is the Three of Diamonds, which really is a card that asks you to become very specific on what you want. It's a card of. It's interesting because somebody else just had a card that's very similar, but it's a card that represents not being flexible. It asks you to look at the things that you're doing in your life in all situations, and it's saying if something's not working for you, if you're like doing something like you're trying to meet somebody to fall in love with, or if you're trying to make more money, or if you're trying to become more spiritual, or you're trying to do whatever in life, and if it's not working, it's saying you need to kind of just kind of come up with some more ideas. I think you need to like kind of move. I said in the last video where I was talking about this to the other sign, it's like you need to move left or right. You need to just kind of maybe veer off the path in this case a little bit and come up with some new, fresh ideas. That's what this card says. But it's a card of also deciding what is very important to you in life and becoming very specific. And, it does kind of go back to the law of attraction, which, I have a love-hate relationship, and I don't usually use the word hate, but I have a love-hate relationship with the law of attraction. I have a lot of problems with the way that it's been taught. Like, you can just sit and attract things into your life, and that's not works out. But one thing that does work and usually helps you at least become very clear on what you want to be attracting in the first place when it comes to everything in your life is to become super clear and write down, even go that far and write down exactly what you want. So if you want to find a mate, you find a piece of paper and write down exactly what you want that person, who they are, what they look like, what you want them to be. If you want a job, write down what the perfect job is, and so on. I could go on and on about that stuff, but this card asks you to become very clear on what you want, and it will help you. It will help you decide which way you're going. The next card you have is the King of Spades. I want to say you've had this card in the past, if I'm not mistaken. It represents having been through some very difficult times. I know Cancer, water signs have been getting, pretty challenged extremely for the past 8 years plus, since 2001. I hate to bring up negative situations, but 9/11 was really the kickoff point for a lot of stuff, like energetically, even down to that day, was the start of a great challenging period for people in their personal lives. Not on a, 9/11 we could consider as a global type of issue, but it was also the kind of kickoff for a lot of issues. So a lot of you may have been experiencing challenges since around 9/11, since around 2001, for that long. But that's the thing. This guy, he represents, if you look at the card, and again, this is why I love these cards, because he's a guy who's in a military uniform with a ton of medals there on his chest. Represents exactly that. It represents having been through a battle, having experienced a lot of challenges in your life, like challenge after challenge after challenge. But now you have all these medals. You have all these tools that you can use. And challenges from here on out, that's the great news about this card, is that challenges from here on out are going to be super easy for you because you've seen and been through 10 times harder. So it's a very good card to have. He's very successful. He's become very successful because of all this, and it's what kind of has driven him. He's become like a new person. Like, I think a lot of you are literally becoming a new person, and I've said this in Cancer's previous video. I think that the zodiac is almost shifting. Like, all the signs are kind of, it's almost like they're becoming the other signs, in a weird way. It's a hard thing to explain. I'm not an astrologer, like I say, so I have no clue what I'm talking about. But it's almost like people look at, water signs as being sometimes emotional and wimpy even, but I think it's just the opposite. I think you've become extremely strong and more aggressive and more knowing what you want because you've been through these challenges, and now you have a whole new tool set to deal with them, and you're a lot better off and more ambitious and aggressive in life because of it. Next, you have the Six of Spades, which represents incremental improvements and kind of momentum in your life. I've been saying that this card really does represent momentum. It's kind of like a train is one way that I describe it. It's going to start off slow, where you'll just start to see things getting better in your life, and then it'll just really, after a while, you'll see how it'll just really pick up and take off, and sooner or later you'll really be kind of going here. And again, it's kind of like, because we're just all getting off that hangover from the past 8 years. Everybody, really, but, water signs in particular have been quite challenged, so, and it's like you're starting to pick it up and you're starting to move forward, so it's a great card to have. It represents incremental improvements. That's what the traditional meaning of this card is. So that is a very good sign. Next, you have the King of Clubs. I don't know if I accidentally called this the King of Clubs. I don't know, King of Spades, but King of Clubs is very, it's interesting because I said that this guy has a bunch of tools. King of Clubs represents using your intuition. It's a very intuitive card, using your psychic abilities to overcome obstacles, to get what you want in life. It's not a card that represents obstacles. It just says if you encounter one, use your intuition. But it's a card, he uses past experiences to be successful in whatever it is that he wants. So I think a lot of you will be doing that. I think that you have two kings, which is very powerful. You're coming in very powerful this month. You're using both of these guys in particular when it comes to the deck. These are the two guys that use the tools that they already have, kind of, to get what they want and to become successful. So Cancer, overall, amazing month. I think you're in a really powerful position with the two kings. I think you're really going to be in a great position here this month, and it's going to be a great month. So thank you for watching.